everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and in today's video we are going to be seeing something amazing. So before we start, I would like to introduce myself. I am Emma Glory, the founder of CRM Instructors, and we help business owners set up their CRM systems and their email marketing system. So if you've been looking to set up your CRM systems, whether Zoho, whether HubSpot, whether Keep and the likes, and you also want to simplify your email marketing system, whether you are using MailerLite, whether you are using MailChimp, or whatever email marketing software you are using, CRM Instructors is here for you. You can check more about us at crminstructors.com, and you can be able to see all of the things we do, and you can also book a free discovery call from our website. So in today's video, we are going to be helping everyone that has signed up to MailerLite and they are very confused on how to use MailerLite. You might have signed up to MailerLite and you saw a lot of features like the landing pages, like the sign up forms, like the automation, and you got confused on how to use it. And you've been looking for a way, or you've been looking for a video or a tutorial that can teach you everything about MailerLite. Yeah, you're in the right place. So we are going to look at every essential features in MailerLite, right from email campaigns, right from A and B split testing, right to forms, to automations, to landing page, and every of the main important features you can find in MailerLite. We are going to be going through every single one of them in this video. By the end of this tutorial, you are going to feel more confident with using MailerLite, and trust me, you will be able to replicate everything we are going to be teaching in this course into your business by using your MailerLite account. So before we get started, I would like to say please subscribe to this channel, because we are going to be posting more amazing content like this and we do not want you to miss out. So subscribe to this channel and turn on your notifications so that whenever we put out an amazing video like this, you are going to get notified. And do not also forget to like this video and to share to everyone who you think might need this video. So let's get started. Okay, so let's get started. So before we start, or before we dive into the course itself, I just want to show you some few things you need to do before you can set up your account. So you can go into MailerLite website, which is MailerLite.com, and as you can see here, they have a lot of features that they do. You can see what they do. You can see the features that you can find in MailerLite. You can also see the reviews, just to make sure that MailerLite is something you want to use for your business. And also when you go down over here, you can see the integration that they do with different softwares, the integration they have with Zapier, the integration they have with Shopify, with WooCommerce, and all of this. And you can also check their pricing just to make sure it is something within your budget and it's something you can carry on into the future. So when you come over to the pricing plan, as you can see, they have various pricing plan that you can use. They have the free plan, which is free, and you have 12,000 monthly emails. So that means you can only send up to 12,000 monthly emails, and I think that's generous enough. So that means if you have 1,000 contacts, you can only send 12 emails to each of those contacts in a month. And also they have one user seat, and they have 24/7 email support up until 14 days, because the free trial is 14 days, so they are giving you that support up to 14 days. And also they have drag and drop editor, they have email automation builders, they have websites, they have landing pages, they have sign up and pop-up forms, and all of this. And if you are going to be going into the growing business plan, which is $9 per month, as you can see over here, you can have 3 user seats, and you can get everything in the free plan plus all of this. You can sell digital products, there is unlimited templates, there is campaign auto send, and all of this can be found in the growing business plan. When you go to the next plan, which is the advanced plan, as you can see here, it is $18 per month, and you have everything in growing business plan plus smart sending. You can do Facebook integration, you can have your custom HTML editor, so that means you can be able to build emails using HTML. You can see promotional pop-up, there is enhanced automation, and all of this can be found in advanced. You also need to note that this pricing here that we can see over here is for the one that is billed yearly, so you have to go for monthly if you want MailerLite to bill you monthly. But if you want them to bill you yearly, it is $18. If it is monthly, it is $20 per month. And also the green business is $10 per month. And also note that this is only for 500 subscribers, and as you increase your subscribers, as you can see, this pricing is going to be increasing. So you want to make sure that you are picking the particular subscribers that you currently have, and also check for the future just in case when you start growing your subscribers, you want to make sure that you can still be able to afford MailerLite. It is very important to do this because most time when we work with clients and CRM instructors, they are always getting email marketing software that they cannot carry into the future. So that means if your account or if your subscribers should grow to 2,500 subscribers, you're going to be paying $40 instead of $20. And if it grows up to 10K, you can see the price you have to pay per month. So you have to make sure this is something your business can be able to afford monthly or yearly. So the other plan, which is the transactional plan, it is just allowing you to be able to send emails monthly. So you can see the number of emails you can send, you can see the verification credits that you have and all of this. So you can also see the number of emails you plan to send, and you can increase them if you want to see the pricing that they have. And also I will advise you start with the marketing one first so you can get a hang of it before you move to the transactional plan. So when you want to sign up to MailerLite, you just click on the sign up here, and when you click on the sign up, it's going to ask you all of those questions. It's going to ask you for your organization name, it's going to ask you for your own name, it's going to ask you for the email address and the password you want to use. And when you do all of this, you can click on create my account. It is going to ask you to verify your email, and when you verify your email, your account is going to be created. And when your account is created, you are going to get into this dashboard, and as you can see, this is how it is going to look like when you sign in. So as you can see, we have our dashboard here. We can see the various things we can do in MailerLite. We can see the number of subscribers that we currently have. You can see the emails that have been sent. You can see the campaigns and performance by month. You can also see the active automation. You can see all your active forms and all your published sites. And also you can go into your account settings so as to set up the things you want. So for instance, if you want to change your organization or your company name, you can change it over here. CRM instructor consulting, and we have this website URL over here, which is our website URL, and you can change that for your own. In case you made mistake while signing up, you can also edit whatever you want to edit over here. You can add in your address, you can add in your country. It is also going to ask you for your time zone. Make sure to input the time zone that you want, especially as this is going to be as your emails are going to be sent with this time zone. So you want to make sure you are putting the right thing. And as you can see here, we have the MailerLite branding, and due to the fact that we are using a free account, we cannot turn this off. So that means whatever we are sending out there, whether we are creating landing pages, we are creating forms, we are creating emails, it is going to have the MailerLite branding. To turn this off, we need to upgrade to a paid plan, but since we want to use this free plan for this course, we are not going to be upgrading. Okay, so when you are done with all of the changes you have made, you want to click on save, and when you click on save, all of those changes are going to be saved in your MailerLite account. So that has been saved and your company's profile has been updated. You can also go to your default settings and you can adjust whatever it is you want to adjust. You can say that you want to this is for your sender details, and this is from the from address that is going to be sending all of the emails in your MailerLite account. This is a Gmail account. I would advise that you use a company email. So that means you want to use your business email. That means your maybe your name at or support at or hello at, whatever domain you are using. And to add in your domain, you want to come over to domains and you can add in whatever domain you have for your business. So for now, we do not have any sending domain and we do not have any custom domain. As we go on in this course, we are going to see how we can add a domain into MailerLite. Due to the fact that we are using a free plan, we cannot bring in a domain for the site, but we can bring in the domain for the sending domain. So remember that the sending domain is the domain that is controlling your emails that are going to be used as the sender email in MailerLite. Okay, so when we come over here, we can see the plan and the billing. You can see the number of users that you have. You can see your domain also. And when you click on users, due to the fact that we are using a free account, we can only bring one user in. And as you can see here, I am the only user here, but if you upgrade your plan, you can be able to bring in new users into MailerLite. And also you can see the subscribe settings, you can see the unsubscribe settings, and you can see the email notification that will be sent to you when anything is done in your MailerLite account. And now let us go back to the dashboard and let's see how the overview of MailerLite is. So for the first one, which is dashboard, we have seen everything we can find in the dashboard. And the next one is the subscribers. The subscribers is just controlling the number of people we have in our organization, maybe the leads, the contacts, and you can see everyone as they come in. And also we have campaigns, and campaigns allow you to be able to send emails to people in the organization. And also remember that auto send and A/B testing is found in the paid plan, so you can create a simple campaign if you're using a free plan, and you can send to everyone on your list. And also for this automation, we can be able to set up automation just to make sure that not everything is done manually in our business. So for instance, we can say if a new subscriber comes in, we want to send in an email, or if a new subscriber come in, we want to add them to a sequence. So you can do that in MailerLite. And also we have the forms where you can set up forms like pop-up forms, or the embedded forms, or the promotional forms, whichever one you want. You can set up your website, and for websites we have landing pages and we have website itself. So you can decide to set up landing pages, or you want to set up a website. And we have the part for the product, and for the product you can bring in different product that you want to sell in MailerLite. So we have the digital product, and we have the subscription, and donation is still coming, and appointment is still coming, and membership is still coming. So for now we have the digital product and the subscription. So we have the account setting, which we just saw. Okay, so the next one is a file manager, where you can be able to bring in different files into MailerLite. We have where you can be able to upload from your Google Drive, or if you want to import from your device, if you want to import from a URL, if you want to import icons from Flaticon, whatever you want to do, you can do it in this file manager. And we have the integrations there, where it's going to show you every app that MailerLite can be integrated to. And as you can see here, we have the API integration, we have the e-commerce integration, and we also have the webhook integration. We also have WooCommerce, Zapier, Canva, and all of this integration can be done. And for you to be able to connect with multiple for you to be able to connect with every app that is currently not here. So that means if there is no native integration with MailerLite with that app, you can use Zapier. And Zapier allows you to be able to connect MailerLite with about 140 tools. So you have the liberty to pick whatever tool you want to use, and you can just connect it. And if we want to get started with this, we are going to see how we can um, add in contact into MailerLite. So the first thing, or let me just say the foundational thing, or the foundational feature of every email marketing software out there, is the contact. The contact is the one carrying the whole of the email marketing software. Is if there is no contact, or if there is no leads, there is no email marketing. And that is why if you come over to subscribers, you are going to see all of your subscribers in here. And as you can see, we only have one subscriber, which is me, and this is my email. And you can also decide to create new subscribers. So when you want to create new subscribers, all you need to do is just to click on add subscribers, and it is going to take you to this place where you can add new subscribers. And as you can see, you can decide to import subscribers if you want. You can decide to copy and paste from an Excel file. You can also decide to add just one single subscriber, and you can also decide to import from Mailchimp. You can import using API also. So for the purpose of this video, we are going to be seeing how to add a single subscriber, and we're also going to see how to add from a file. So if you want to add in a new subscriber, you can just add in the email, you can add in the name, you can ask it to show you more fields, and you can add all of these details. Now you can decide to add to a group, and a group is just going to allow you to be able to add different subscribers into like a container. So you can name the container and name them maybe website link. So the group is just like, let's just say it's a tag, or is a list. Yeah, a list is better. So it's a list, and a list, just the group just allows you to be able to group different subscribers into one container. It is possible that you have two different contacts in two different groups. That is actually very possible. So when we go back over to subscribers, that is how to add a new subscriber. You can add that and just click on save. And also we have segments, and for segments you can be able to filter different subscribers that you currently have in your account. So before we move on, actually let's see how to import subscribers, so we can see how to do segments, groups, and all of this. So when we click on add subscribers over here, it is going to take you here where you can import a file, and I have this dummy list over here. I am going to bring them I am going to download this, but before I download this, I need to make sure that all of these fields that are currently in this file are currently in MailerLite. So that means if I'm going to be importing this contact into MailerLite, I have to make sure that we have the lead source, that we have the lead status, that the city is available, the state and the country field is available. And to add a new subscriber, you just need to click on add subscriber, and we are going to add a single subscriber for now. So when you click on the single subscriber, it is going to show you all of these fields that are available, and you can click on show more fields. And when you click on show more fields, you can put in the email, you can put in the name of the subscriber. So let's say this is Emma Test, and the last name, and also we have the company, so we can add in the company here, and we can say that the company is CRM instructors, or CRM go. Okay, so we can add in the country, and we can add in the city and the zip. So let's just add this, and the country is Nigeria, we have the zip. So we can decide I want to add to a group if we want, but since we have not created any group, we cannot see any group for it now. So let's just add the subscriber without adding to the group. So we just click on add subscriber over here, and when you click on add subscriber, as you can see, that subscriber has been saved. And when we come back over to subscribers, we are going to see that we are going to be having a new subscriber in MailerLite, and now it has moved from 1 to 2, and this is the second subscriber we just created. So the next one, we have segments, and segment just allows us to be able to group subscribers into different containers by using different filters. So for instance, we can see all of the people that we have sent emails in the past 1 year. We can see people that we have sent emails maybe in the past 3 months, or if we can also see people that have opened our email in the past 1 month, or people that came through a form. So that is what a segment is used for. And we have the group. The group just allows us to be able to name different subscribers and just name them in a particular place. So a group is also known as a list. It does not filter, it just allows you to be able to create a container, and you can put different subscribers into that container. And for fields, we have different custom fields that you can create in MailerLite. And as you can see here, we can create a new field if you want, and we have the statistics. The statistics just allows us to be able to check in all of our average open in the business. We can see the average new subscribers, we can see the average unsubscribes, and we can see how our list is growing every month. And also you can see those people that are engaging with our emails. You can see the top domains that we currently have. We can see the top email clients that we have in MailerLite, and that is for the start. And we can also see the clean up inactive, and for clean up inactive, it just allows us to be able to group the inactive subscribers into one particular place. So as you can see here, this is a list. The clean up the inactive subscribers is a list, and we can decide that we want to check for inactive in the last 6 months, or want to check for inactive in the last 12 months. So when you click on this, it is going to get all of those people that have been inactive in the last 6 months, and we have sent over 10 emails to them. So if you want to check for inactive in the last 6 months, and we've sent up to 10 emails, you can click up to send up to 10 emails. And if you want to also use more than 10 emails, you can do that. If you want to use send more than 100 emails, you can also do that. So you can also check for inactive for the last 12 months, or you can even check for people that have never opened your emails. So people that have never opened your emails, then you can pick on them, and when you see all of this particular list, you can then decide to unsubscribe the inactive. So that means you want to make sure that everybody that is not engaging with you, you unsubscribe them and you take them off your list, so that you do not need to keep sending emails to them. If they are not opening your emails at all, then that shows that they are currently not interested in what you do, and that is perfectly fine. So you want to make sure that you take them off that list, so as not to damage your sender reputation. And also we have the history, and for the history you can be able to see, so for the history you can see the subscribers history. And since we do not have any history yet, we are going to come back to this. So let's go back to segments. Let's go back to all subscribers, and let's see how we can import contact into MailerLite. So when we click on add subscribers and we come over here and we try to bring this file in, we have this dummy list that we currently have here. As you can see, we have people with the first name, the last name, the email, we have the list source, the list status, the address, and so on. So now before you can be able to import any contact into MailerLite, you have to make sure that you have all of this fields set up in MailerLite already. If you don't have this field set up in MailerLite, this data is not going to be imported into MailerLite. So you want to make sure that before you import any file or before you import any Excel sheets, you have to make sure that all of the files or all of the fields, all of the fields in that Excel file is currently in MailerLite. So when you make sure that this has been done, then you can then decide to import the contact into MailerLite. So if you go back into MailerLite now and we go back to subscribers and we check the fields, we have to make sure that all of the fields in there is currently in MailerLite. And as you can see, we have fields over here. And when you click on create field, as you can see, we can create different kind of field and we can name it, whether it is a text or it's a number or it's a date field. So we have 3 fields currently that we can pick from. And since we have lead source, I'm not sure we have lead source in MailerLite. There is no lead source in MailerLite, so I'm just going to bring in that new field. And when I click on create field, I can be able to pick the particular name. So it is a lead source, and since they do not have pick list and all of those, we can just use text. And when you use text, you click on create, and that is going to create your lead source field. And the next one we have after lead source is lead status. And as you can see here, our lead status is having different categories or different options that they can pick from. And you can go back into MailerLite and you can create a new field, and you can name this field, let's say this is lead status. And now that we have that, we can click on create. And when you click on create, that is going to create your field. So the next thing you want to do now is to go back into this part and see any other field that we currently have in this file that is not in MailerLite. So we have address, city, state, and country. And over here we have, there is no address, and there is city, there is state, there is country. So now let's create an address field. So when we come over here and we click on create field, we are going to see, and we are going to name this address. So let's name this address. And when we name this address, it is a text field because address is text. Then we can click on create. So for instance, if you are going to be creating maybe phone number, or if you want to create maybe the number of services they want, anything that has to do with number, you have to pick the number. But if you are creating fields like maybe the date of birth, the date they came into our business, anniversary date, and all of those things can be created using the date field. So since we have created all of the particular fields that we want in this file, yeah, so you just need to make sure that everything is created. Okay, so we have the phone field and this is a text. And now let's try to import our contact into MailerLite. So when we go back into all subscribers, and let's see how we can, so we click on add subscribers, then we come into import from an oh god, import from a CSV or TXT file. So now let's download this Excel file and let's bring them into MailerLite. So to do that, you need to click on the file and you can click on download. And one thing to note here is that you have to make sure that you are downloading in CSV format or in the Excel file format. If you are downloading in any format apart from those two, it is not going to come into MailerLite. So you have to make sure that it is in those two formats and you can then bring them in. So we are going to be downloading in CSV as that is the easiest thing to do. So we just pick CSV and it is going to download this. We click on save, and when we click on save, our data or our file, our Excel file, has been saved. Then we are going to come back into MailerLite, and we are going to click on this, and we can drag and drop our file in here, or we can select from a computer. So let's pick from our computer, and this is the file. When we click on open here, as you can see, it is going to upload that particular file into MailerLite, and you can click on import subscribers. Let me come here. So when you click on import subscribers, and as you can see, so you click on import subscribers, and that is going to take you to the next stage where you can match all of your fields. So we currently have all of this field in this file, and we have all of this field in MailerLite. So the first name is going to be mapped to name, and the last name is going to be mapped to the last name, and we have the email, and the email is going to be mapped to the email. The phone number is also going to be mapped to phone, and this is phone over here. And you can see we have the lead status over here, and the lead status is going to be mapped into the lead status also. And we have the lead source. Lead source is also going to be mapped to lead source, and we have address. Address is going to be mapped to address. So city is going to be mapped to city, and state is going to be mapped to state. And country, we do have country. Okay, this is our country. And yeah, I think that's all. So everything has been mapped over here. Name is mapping to first name. This is the fields from our file, from our Excel file, and this is the belong to that is in MailerLite. So you have to make sure that all of this is correct. Then when you are done, you can click on finish import, and when you click on finish import, that is going to import every of the data in the Excel file into MailerLite. So now you can see we currently have this is going, and it is currently at 0%. So let's wait until it is 100% to see all of the data or all of the contact that has been imported. Okay, now as you can see, the import has been completed, and now we currently have 20 subscribers that came in, and subscribers that were updated were 0, and since these are new subscribers, none is updated and none is not added due to there is no any error. So now the import has been completed, and when we go back into subscribers, we are going to see the new subscribers that came in into our MailerLite account. So let's go back into subscribers. Yeah, as you can see, we now currently have 22 subscribers in MailerLite. So when we go over and we try to create segments, we can then decide to create different segments based on different things. We can say that I want to create segments based on the lead source, or create segments based on the lead status. So for instance, we can say if the lead status is in progress, we want to create a segment for that. And we can also say if the lead source is maybe LinkedIn or websites or wherever they are coming from, we can also create a segment for that. Okay, so now the next thing we want to do now is want to create a segment for this. So now we are going to be creating the segments for lead status. So let's say we want to create a new segment, and now we can decide I want to create a segment from scratch, or we can decide to pick a template from their segment library. So yeah, they have different templates you can pick from. You can pick if the contacts are not active lately, if they are not open yet, or if you want to pick based on location, if you want to pick on based on frequent link clickers. Whatever it is you want to pick, you can use this. But since we are doing this tutorial to learn, we are going to be creating from scratch, so we can see how to create a segment. So let's say we want to create a segment. I want to check in for every contact that is coming from our website. So we can then click on, we can then name these websites, website leads. So that means we are checking in for everyone coming from websites. So now when we click on create, that is going to create our segment. Then we can be able to pick a filter for this segment. So let's choose a filter, and let's say we want to check in using our lead source. That means we are going to be picking fields, and when you pick fields, we can pick a particular field. I want to check in for lead source, and we want to say the lead source is equal to we can say the lead source is equal to website. And when we save our changes, we can save our changes, or we can refresh this, or we can undo the changes. And we can also decide to add another criteria, and we can say if the field lead source is equal to website. So that means anyone coming from website, and we want to check another filter, and we can say if the lead source is website and the email contains Gmail. So let's check in, and the email contains Gmail. You can also add in another and. The and criteria means that both of these conditions must be fulfilled before this contact can be added into this segment. So the and criteria just to make sure that both conditions, or all of the conditions you'll be using, must be fulfilled before these leads can be added to this segment. So if you're using the or criteria, you can say that it has to pick these conditions, or you can then click another condition, and we can say if the field is lead source, or the lead status is let's say the lead status is in progress, or we can say the lead status is contacted. So we can say the lead source is website, or we can also say the lead status. So we pick a lead status equals, let's say, new. So that means that this criteria must be fulfilled, or this one must be fulfilled. So that means these two must be fulfilled, or this only one must be fulfilled. So that is the meaning of the or criteria. The or criteria is going to pick from each of this. So if any of this is fulfilled, it is going to add to this list. So now let's say we want to save these changes, and let's see if we are going to be having any contacts in this segment. And as you can see, we currently have 6 contacts that is fulfilling this criteria. So we can also decide to set the column here, so we can see the lead source and the lead status, just to know what is going on. Let's pick the address also. So that has been set, and as you can see, we have new. Since we are picking new, if it is lead source is website, or lead status is new, so that means this lead status is new. All of this is new. And also we have the one for lead source. Oh, so it's only checking for the lead source. So you can decide to cancel this actually. So let's cancel this. It's only checking for the lead source, and let's say we want to leave it this way. Let's say we want to check in for contacts that are coming from websites, and the email is containing Gmail. So we click on save changes, and it is saying 0. So let's say the field lead source equals website, and we can also say and the lead status is new. So we can say that everyone that is coming from the website and their lead status is new should be added to this website. So let's say the lead status is equal to new. And when we click on save changes, as you can see, we only have one person on this list. And we can also say that we want to remove this, just to see the number of people there. And we currently have 2 people who are coming from websites, and we can also say that we want to click on and add other criteria. You can do this however you want. So since we have lead status on our list in progress, so we can even say that we want to check in for contacts that have instead of using lead status, we can say instead of using lead source, we can use lead status, and we can say lead status equals to open. So let's use open for instance. So when you click on save changes, that is going to save it, and you can see everyone that is currently on open. So this is everyone that have their lead status as opened, and you can see where they are coming from. You can see their email and all of this. So that is for segments. So now after you've done this segment and you've saved that, you can go back to your segment, and when you go back to your segment, you are going to see all of the segments that you have created. So we have the one for website leads, and as you can see, it is for everyone that have their lead status as opened. You can also say that the lead status is open and the lead source is website. Just twist whichever way you want when you add in your custom fields. So for groups, we can say that we want to create a group and we want to add multiple contacts into that group. So we can say that for this group, we can create newsletter list. For instance, we can say this group is going to be called newsletter. So let's name this newsletter lists. And when we click on create, that is going to create our group, and you can then decide to add multiple subscribers into this group. So when you go back to your all subscribers, you can pick on the different leads that we have in here. So let's pick this, and with action we can say that we want to add these people to the group. So we just created our newsletter list, and we can decide to move this to newsletter list. That's the only option we have, and you can click on save, and that is going to move this contact into that group. You can also pick these options there, and you can say that you want to remove them from the group, or you can say you want to move them to unsubscribe. So that means if you move them to unsubscribe, you will not be able to send emails to them. You can also decide to export CSV file if you want to export data from your MailerLite to a CSV file, or you want to export CSV for Excel. So after doing that, that is for group, and that is settled. We've seen how we can create fields, so that is settled also. And for statistics, we can see the opens, and since we have not sent any email, we are not going to see any open we are not going to see any stats for now until we start sending emails. So for history, we can see all of the things that are currently going on in our MailerLite account. For instance, we have CSV file that has been updated. That's 21 minutes ago. We can see that. We can see the uploaded contact. We can see the successfully added contact also, and we can view them if we want. So now that is all about subscribers. And then when we go to the next one, we try to create a campaign. So when you try to create a campaign in MailerLite, you can do A and B testing. That is if you have the plan to do that. So let's create a campaign in MailerLite. To create a campaign, you come to campaigns and you click on create. And when you click on create, as you can see, we have different campaigns that you can send. We have the regular campaign, the A and B campaign, we have the RRS campaign, the auto send campaign. We also have the multivariate campaigns. So for this tutorial, we are going to be checking out how to create regular and A and B tests, because that is the only option we have for MailerLite, our free plan. So for regular campaign, when you can click on continue, it is going to ask you what kind of editor you want to use. You can decide to use the rich text editor. You can use drag and drop. The drag and drop is more interactive, and you can also use custom HTML. That means if you know how to code, you can use HTML, and you can build your email campaigns with HTML code. So let's use the drag and drop, since that is the recommended one and that is the easiest one. So when we click on that, it is going to take us to our editor page where we can be able to set up our campaign in MailerLite. So MailerLite is allowing me to see that I can watch a tutorial on YouTube, but since I do not need that, I'm just going to continue to the builder. And when I continue to the builder, as you can see, we have the builder in here, and we have various things that we can add. We also have the MailerLite setting here, the MailerLite button. And remember that when we're setting up our account, we were not able to turn this off because we are on the free plan, and that's okay. Okay, so now we are in the editor's page of the campaign editor, and now we have different navigations that we can add in here. We have the save block where you can see all of the blocks that you've saved. Then we have the navigation, which allows you to be able to add navigation like the menu and the button and the logo. So that would be the header of your campaign, like this one. Then we have the one for the section where you can add a 2-column section, you can add 3-column section, you can add the large and small column section if you want. We also have the element section, which allows you to be able to add spacer, divider, title with button. There are different elements you can add here. You can even add audio. You can add links if you want. We have the one for content, which allows you to be able to add box CTA. You can also add simple content. You can add image, header, and the button. You can add special elements like survey. You can add quiz. You can add aligned signature. We have the one for e-commerce, so that when you integrate your e-commerce store like WooCommerce or Shopify, you can be able to add products directly from those apps into your campaigns. We have the one for gallery where you can add 1 image section, you can add 2 image section, 3 image section, and so on. You have the one for blogs and RSS where you can add in your blogs from your website. We have the social sharing where you can add Instagram posts, Facebook posts, and all of this. So now we're just going to go with something simple. Yeah, so I'm just going to use this particular template that we have in here, and as you can see, let me bring this here. And as you can see, we currently have this header here. Then you can upload your company logo, you can change this, you can remove this navigation, you can delete whichever one you don't want and just leave whichever one you want. And also we have the one for, so for the logo here, we can decide to replace this image, and when we click on replace the image, it's going to take us to the file manager and we can upload whatever we want. So let me try to upload something. I'm going to upload this logo here and I'm going to bring it in, and when I upload the logo, this logo has been uploaded, so I can pick it. So let me pick it here. So I'm going to click on insert, and when I click on insert, that logo has been inserted. And also you can change the menu and you can add a link to the menu. So if you wanted to go to the about page of your website or the shop page on your website, you can add a link here. You can also add in extra link if you want. You can make sure that the links are opening to a new tab if you want. And yeah, for the image, you can also decide to browse images and add images like the way we've just done. You can edit your you can edit this page here and just write in something you want. For the button, you can also add the button here, and since there is a button style here, you can make it primary, you can make it secondary if you want. So let's leave this as primary. And you can add a link to the button by clicking on this link here. So you can either insert link or you can insert file, and file might be, maybe you want to insert a PDF or you want to insert whatever it is you want to add for them to download. You can also insert the link, maybe the link to your website or the link to maybe your discovery call or whatever it is you want to add. And we have the footer in here, which you can insert. You can change your address. This address is coming in from the address we have on our settings page in MailerLite, and as you can see here, it's brought in the same address in here. And you can also edit this warning where we're telling them that they're receiving this email because they signed up on our website. You can change this text to however you want. And also remember that you can also bring in these multiple sections if you want. You can bring anything in and you can just adjust them. And after making sure that every of those things are brought in and adjusted, you can save your settings there. So let's save this, and after making sure that that is done, you can see the version history where you can undo some changes you've made, or you can redo them if you want. You see the actions in here, which you can remove some content block if you want. You can decide what to remove, and when you decide when you pick on that, you can then remove them. You can also preview the campaign to see how it's going to look like, and how it's going to look like when you want to send it out to your people, your subscribers. So this is how the campaign is looking like, and we can also decide to see how it looks like on mobile. It is making sense on mobile, so you can copy the URL here, or you can save as PDF. So you can save as PDF and you can send to external people. Maybe you want people to review the campaigns before you send it out. You can save as PDF and you can use it however you want. And so let's cancel this. You can also decide to send a test email if you are creating a campaign in MailerLite. It is very important you send a test email to yourself, just to make sure to see how it is going to look like before you send it out to your subscribers. So as you can see here, it is speaking out my email, and you can also decide to cancel this out and use whatever email you want to use. So I'm just going to use my own email, and when I click on send test, it is going to send that campaign to my Gmail account, and I'll be able to see that in there. So that is for the send test email. When you are done editing, you can just click on done editing. Yeah, I need to add a missing URL. So let's add that. Some URL, I'm just going to add the URL here so that it allows me to save this. So I click on enter, and I click on open a new tab, and I click on enter. So that has been added there. And also this URL here, I need to add something here. So let's just put this URL. Okay, let's save this, and just okay. Yeah, so when I'm done, I click on save settings, and I think I should be able to, yeah, I forgot to include this. So for the templates of the settings, you can change the brand color if you want. So for instance, for the logo, you can bring in the logo. We already have the logo here, so we just leave this in here. and we can change the brand color, the secondary color. This is the border color. So this is for our brand, the brand color and the logo. You can add all of this in here. So for the menu items, you can see the links in here. You can also add whatever you want to add, and you can add your social link also here. And when you are done editing all of them, you can just click on done editing. Okay, as you can see here, this is our campaign name, and we can see the subject line in here, and we can see the sender, we can see the sender email. So please know that if you are sending emails from MailerLite, it is very important to know that you should use your sender email, which is your domain email. You should not use your Gmail account, as that is going to lead to a lot of spam, and we do not want that. So you can rename this, and maybe rename this as welcome email, and you can add in a subject, and you can say welcome. So we can say welcome, it's nice having you here, and we can insert personalization like the first name, the last name. So you can bring in whatever it is you want. So let's say you want to add in the first name, we can just bring that in, and that is going to insert their first name in the subject line. So when they are receiving the email, their first name is going to be added into the subject line of that particular email you just sent out. So you can also see the sender name, so you can change this sender name if you want, and also it's also saying that you should add in a custom domain here. You can also add a recipient if you want, a pre-header if you want, and you can then add the recipient. So you can decide that you want to add in all of the subscribers in your account, or you can decide that you only want to send to a particular segment or particular groups of people. So for instance, if we're using segments, so we can decide to exclude some segments if we want, and we can decide to exclude these segments if we want. So that is if we are picking all subscribers, we can decide to exclude this segment. But if we want to send to some particular segments, we can just pick the segments we want to use, and when we pick on that, that is going to pick our website leads, and we can decide to exclude some people if we want, but I do not want to exclude, so I'm just going to pick this, and I'm going to pick newsletter list. And as you can see, it is saying that we have 7 recipients, and that is because there is someone in this list that is belonging to this segment and also this group at the same time. So after you selected the people you want to send this newsletter to, whether group or segment, you click on select, and that is going to select the group of people. And when you've made sure that the subject name is correct, the pre-header and everything is correct, you can then click on continue, and then you can be able to send now if you want, or you can decide to send later, or you can even decide to send based on time zone. You can also decide to send based on where you are sure your customers will engage with your emails, but this is only available for advanced plans, so we cannot use this. So let's just use the send now, or we can use send later. So let's, for instance, if you are creating this email and you don't want to send it immediately, you can decide to schedule it into the future, and today is the 11th of February 2026. We can say that we want this email to go out tomorrow by 10 a.m. So let's look for 10 a.m. So we can decide that this is 10 a.m. and we can pick the particular time zone we want this email to go out in let me see if they have, yeah. So I'm in Africa, Lagos, so I'm just going to pick that time zone in here, and the current time is 3:21, but this is going to send tomorrow by 10 a.m. my time. So that is for send later with a particular time zone. You can also decide to send based on time zones. So for instance, if you want to send, if there are some people coming from different time zones on your subscriber list, you can be able to send maybe like 10 a.m. on everybody's time zone. So that means they are not working towards your own time zone. MailerLite is going to work towards the subscriber time zone. So if we have people from Africa, we have people from EST, and people using EST time zone, people using PST, whatever time zone they are using, this is going to send at that particular time for every of the time zone. And I think this is actually great if you're having different people with different time zones on your subscriber list. This is really going to help. So you can also pick the date. So let's say we are sending tomorrow, and we can then decide that we want this to go out at 10 a.m. tomorrow at everybody's time zone. So that means it is going to go out 10 a.m. PST, 10 a.m. EST, 10 a.m. African time zone, 10 a.m. Maybe WAT, whatever time zone you have, whatever time zones that your customers or your subscribers are coming from, it is going to pick that particular time zone and set at that particular time. Yeah, I hope that's not confusing. Okay, so that is based on time zone. So when you've decided the ones you want to go with, whether you want to send now or send later, you can then decide to schedule. And when you decide to schedule, it is asking for the it's going to show you the summary of the terms and conditions. Then you can take your time to read it if you want. And when you read it, you can click that yes, you are agreeing with the terms and condition or terms of service. Then you click on confirm, and that is going to schedule your emails to go out. And as you can see, we have this welcome email campaign here, and if you want to create another new campaign, all you need to do is just click on create campaign and start the process all over again. So that is for campaign. Now let's see how to create forms in MailerLite. So when we want to create forms, we are going to click on forms here, and when you click on forms, as you can see, we have not created any forms in this account. And when you click on create form, it is going to ask you for the name of the form, and it's also going to ask you for the type of form you want to create. So let's say this form is for our contact details. So we are naming this contact form, and we are starting with the embedded form for now. So we can be able to create a form that we can embed on our website. We can embed anywhere we want. I'm also going to show you how to embed it on your website, and you can also create a pop-up form if you want. So to create an embedded form, you just click on save and continue. And when you click on save and continue, it is going to ask you the subscriber group that these people filling in this form are going to be coming to. So that means if people fill in this form, they are going to be coming to your subscriber group. You can decide that you want them to be in all of the groups. That is actually not really nice. You just need to pick one group. So let's say we want to add this as the newsletter list. So we want them to come to the newsletter list, or you can even decide that you want to create new group for this particular form you are creating. So let's say this is a new contact list, so we can just say maybe contact. So we can name this contact form list. And when you click on create, that is going to create another group that we can use. As you can see, you pick that group also. So we are going to remove this and only select contact form. Then we click on continue. And when you click on continue, it is going to take you to the page where you can be able to add content to your form. And as you can see, this is our newsletter form. You can decide to change this heading. Instead of using newsletter, we can say contact form, or we can say contact us. And we can also change this and say sign up for any special offers. You can also edit this and change whatever you want. You can bolden it, you can underline it, you can add in links for the description, do whatever you want. You can do that. And when you're done, you click on save settings. And when you click on save settings, as you can see, that has been saved. And for the email here, we can see that this is the name email. We can also decide to change the label, and maybe instead of saying only email, we can say something like your email. So you can add in your here, and you can click on save changes, and you can also add fields into this form. So we have added names. We can add in last name. So instead of saying name, we can say something like first name. Yeah, so the label is going to be first name. So let's add in first. Yeah, so we can say this field is required, and we can say that if we are going to be inputting any type of field, it is going to be a text area. We can add in text area. We can add in all of this. So let's say we want to add in text area. Yeah, save changes. And also we can do the same thing for the it's going to be inputs, sorry, not text area. Text area is for long text, so it's going to be inputs. Yeah, done. So text area is for long paragraph text, and the name does not need long paragraph text. So the same thing for the last name. And you can also decide to add another field if you want. Maybe you want to add a company. You can also decide to change this if you don't want to use company, and you can change this to whatever you want. So let's say we want to add in their country, and we want to add in the option to be what countries. So that means they can pick whatever country they are from. And when you are done, the label is also going to be country. You click on save changes, and they can be able to pick whatever country they are coming from. And you can also add in another field if you want, and add in company. You can add in multiple fields as much as you want. So when you click on save setting, that has been saved. And you can also change your background to another color if you want. So we can use red. This is ugly. let's use white. Yeah, I think let's use our normal white. So we can use white, we can use black, you can use whatever it is you want. You can also decide that you want to use a background image. If that works for you, you can check in for the background image. You just need to go to your upload section of your file manager, upload it and bring it into your computer, then upload the image. So that is if you want to use image for your background. You can also decide to use the layout section. You can decide to increase the width, and if we're increasing the width to like 600, as you can see, so we can increase the width. As you can see, as I'm increasing it, it's getting wider, and we can say the layout can be default or full width. So default still looks nicer, and we can decide to add in a border. So let's add in a border, and let's color the border, maybe color red. You can add whatever color you want. And for the border radius, you can also decide to increase the radius for the border. That means the edges of the form. And you can also decide to align the form to the left, to the right, to the center, whichever one works for you. When you're done, you click on save. And also for the form element, as you can see here, you can do the settings for the form element. You can change the color, you can change the font size, you can add border, you can add border colors, do whatever you want. You can do the same thing for label, you can do the same thing for checkbox, you can also do the same thing for checkbox description. So for the button, we can decide that we want to change the color of our button to red. If that works for you, you can also change the overall color to maybe white. Oh no, we cannot use white, we have to use something like black because of our white text. We can also decide to increase the font size of the button. So as I'm increasing it, as you can see, it is increasing. And we can change the font color, we can change the font width to normal instead of bold. We can use the font, we can change the font family, and also the radius for the form. So when you're done with all of this, you can click on save, and that is going to save your form. And now you can go into the main settings of the form, and as you can see, you can add a privacy policy if you want for your form. You can add in a confirmation box if you want. If you have hidden segmentation you want to add, for instance, if you want to add in a field or maybe the lead source, if you know this lead source is going to be from your website, you can, if you know they're going to be coming in from your website, you can name this lead source as website, so that anybody that is coming in, the field lead source is already filled in for them as website. So you can do this for whichever, maybe the lead status or whatever field you want to use. So I've named this as website. The list source is now website. So that means if anybody is filling this form, they are going to be named, the lead source is going to be named website automatically. We can also decide to add in marketing permissions if you want. You can add in interest groups. That means they can pick whatever group they want to join. You can also decide to add a custom success message if you want. You can decide to add captcha if you want, so as to make sure that bots are not filling your form, and you want to make sure that all these spam bots are not filling in your form. Yeah. So after you are done, you can then click on so that is for the setting. And when you go back to your design here, as you can see, you just have to make sure that your design is complete. Then we can click on done editing. So before we click on done editing, there's something we need to look. So for your success message, that means after they fill in the form, they are going to be sent a success message. So the success message can be something like, thank you for filling our form, you are going to hear from us soon. You can decide to edit this however you want. In this place, you can edit this and write whatever it is you want to write in here. And when you are done, you click on your save settings, and when you are done, you click on done editing. So now that our form has been created, we can now be able to generate the link that we can be able to send out to people. So we can be able to share this URL. This is the URL here, and when you go to a new tab and you put in the URL here and you type it in, as you can see, this is our form, and people can be able to fill out this form. Whenever we send it through an email or we send it to the inbox of a particular subscriber, they can fill in the form. So now when you go back to your form, you can also decide to edit it if you want. And as you can see, we have this group in here, and as you can see, we have the JavaScript code to our form, we have the HTML code, and we also have the show on click events code also. So that means you can be able to copy this code. If you want to paste this code as a button on your website, you can paste the code into the button on your website, and when they click on the button, it is going to show on your website. So I'll be showing you how to embed this form on your website. So as we all know, I use those sites for my website, and I'm going to show you how you can be able to embed this code on your website, whether you're using Wix, whether you're using WordPress, whether you are using Squarespace, whatever website builder you are using. It is the same process you are going to use while trying to embed the form on your website. So now I'm going to create a new page on my Zoho site so that I can show you how it works. And let me just say forms, and I'm going to click on save, and my page has been added. So for now, as we can see, this is my new page, and if I want to add this form into this website, I can just go ahead and delete all of this. So let's delete this, and this. So I can add new elements. So the same thing applies for Wix or WordPress. You just need to click on add new elements, and you can add in the embed iframe, or you can add in the code snippet. So it depends on what you are using in your particular website builder. But since we are adding the JavaScript code from MailerLite over here, we are adding this JavaScript snippet here. So we are going to be copying this code here. So when you copy this code here, you are going to go into your site builder, and you are going to drag in the code elements from the elements page. And when you drag in the elements in those sites, it allows us to be able to add a code snippet. So I'm just going to add in MailerLite form, and I click OK, and it creates a blank page for me, and I can then be able to copy the code in here. And as you can see, this script has been copied into this place, and when I click on OK, my code has been done. And when I click on publish, this is going to publish my website, and I'll be able to see my form on my page. So let's try and see if it is going to show up. Okay, so after deleting all of the elements I do not want, I'm just going to click on add elements. It is the same thing you're going to have when you are using Wix, or you are using WordPress, or whatever website builder you are using. So you are going to come to the elements tab, and you can click on add elements, and you can be able to drag in your code snippets. Since we are going to be using code snippets, if the JavaScript works for your builder, you can use the JavaScript code over here, and if the HTML also work for your builder, you can use it. But most times HTML code is going to work if you are using the code snippets. So sometimes if you are using iframe, there will be code snippets. They might not call it code snippets on your own website builder. It might be another thing. So you just look for it in the elements tab. You will see it. Every website builder has it. So for those sites, I'm just going to drag in my code snippets here. And as you can see, I have my MailerLite form, but let me just recreate it so that we can see it. I can add in my the name of my snippet. I'll just name it okay, so I'm going to name this and I'm going to come back into MailerLite, and I'm going to copy my HTML code. So when I copy my HTML code, as you can see, it has been copied, and I'm going to go back to my Zoho site, and I'm going to paste this code over here. And don't change anything, just copy the code and paste it here. The only thing you might want to change is maybe the width and the height, and that is if you know how to change the code. So just leave the code the way it is dragged in. Just leave it like that, and you can just click on save. And when you click on OK here, as you can see, it is going to save that particular code snippet. And when I click on publish, that means I'm publishing my page, or my website page. And as you can see, this form has been done. And when I click on this particular page, it is going to show my contact form on my website. So that is how to embed your MailerLite form into your website. It is not hard at all. You just have to make sure that you follow these particular steps I have mentioned, and you can be able to bring the form into your website. If you are finding it hard to embed this form, you can also use a button, and you can just bring a button in and just put in this what's it called, this show on click event. So just copy the button and just bring it in. but if you follow this process, you should be able to embed it like this on your page. And as you can see, when they fill out this form on my website, it is going to lead back into MailerLite. So you do not need to start manually copying leads and contacts from your website into MailerLite. This is going to sync directly into your MailerLite account. So that is how to embed form on your website. So that is for contact form. And when people start filling in the form, you are going to see in the analytics, you are going to see the number of visitors that are checking your form. You are going to see the automations that are connected to this form. You can also decide to create an automation for your form. So maybe if a person comes in, you can say that you want to send a campaign, or you want to send a notification to the users in your MailerLite account if there is a new contact. And also you can do your double opt-in, and double opt-in just allows us to be able to confirm their emails before they come in. Since we have this the capture already, it is not necessary to confirm your email address. So double opt-in just allows people to be able to confirm their email address before they get into your list. So if you are using double opt-in for your form, if this is turned on, this is turned off now. If this is turned on, you are saying that you want to be able to send confirmation email to the subscribers before they can be able to join your list. So that means if they do not confirm their email from their own end, the email is not going to get into your list of subscribers in MailerLite. So you have to make sure that you want that before you can be able to toggle this on. And also for the form, you can decide to edit this form, you can rename it, you can duplicate the form, you can also delete the form if you want. So let's go back to form and let's see how we can create a pop-up form in MailerLite. So when we go back to forms over here, and as you can see, we have pop-up, we have embedded, we've created an embedded form, we have pop-up. So let's try to create a pop-up form. And when we click on create, this is going to ask us for the name of our form. We can also name this contact form. And yeah, so we are naming, the type is pop-up. Sorry, the type is pop-up form. Yeah, so when you are done, you click on save and continue. And when you click on save and continue, that is going to save your form, and it's going to ask you for the subscriber group you want to add this to. So you can decide to add them to this subscriber group, and when you are done, you click on continue. And when you can click on continue, it is going to show you the different types of pop-up form that they have, the ones you can pick from. So let's just look for one simple design that we can use. So let's use which one should we use? I want something simple, not overly complicated. Okay, this looks like something we can use. So let's choose this template over here. So now for this template, we can say that we want to adjust this template however we want. We can change this to subscribe to our list. So subscribe to our list for freebies. Remember that you can name this whatever you want, and you can ask for their email. If you want to ask for their email and their name, you can also add another field, and you name this name, and maybe you add in the last name. So for the name, you can decide to change the label of the name, and you can add this as a you can also decide to make this field required if you want, and you can also decide to, after making that, you can just click on close, and that is going to work. You can also decide to show labels above as inputs. So that means you can show the label above the input box. You can also decide to toggle this off if you do not want that. And also you can change your color of your button. You can use the primary color or the secondary color, whichever one works for you. You can also change this image. So let's see how we can change this image. So for the image over here, when you click on this outside button, as you can see, we have the pop-up style, different styles that they have. They have the one where it is sliding, we have half screen, we have full screen, we have floating. So I think the first one is still nice. Yeah. So we have the width. You can increase the width, you can reduce it however you want. You can also change the color of the background. So if you want to use black or you want to use whatever, I think white is making sense. Yeah, so let's just leave it as white. And we can also add in an image. You can also add in an image for the background. We do not need that, so let's ignore that. So for the pop-up layout, we can also use the no sidebar if you want. Oh my god, we can use this, we can use this or this. I like this. Yeah, we can use this. So We can also change the style to default, or we can use boxed. Let's just use default. For the sidebar style, we can change this from this color to maybe another color if you want. Let's just use white. Okay, so we can also change this image. So the image is the one for the sidebar. This image is currently on the sidebar, so we can change the image if you want, and you can pick whatever you want. I like the image there, so I'm just going to leave it in. So for the position, we can say we want to make it fill in, or want to make it fit, or we can use this or this. So let's just make it fit. And we can decide we want to include text on the image, so you can type in whatever text you want to write on this image, and we can just say something like maybe hello. Yeah, it's not, yeah, just leave it the way it is. So we can include text, we can align this image, the text. We can make it up, down, we can bring it up, back. So we can decide to show on mobile. We want that to show on mobile, and we can also edit the drop down or backdrop style if you want. So that is for that. So if you change the backdrop color, I want to see what color is going to make sense. This looks nice. Let's just leave it this way. So we've changed that, and when we are done with that, you can just go back to your normal page. Yeah, so when you are done, you can click on done editing. You can check your success to make sure that your thank you page, the success is also your thank you page. You can decide to change this text if you want. You can add in the share button. You can adjust it however you want. And for this page, you can also do all of these settings for this page, and you can decide to remove the text here if you want. So to do that, let's click on this. That means there will be no text, and that has been done. And when you are done, you click on done editing. And when you click on done editing, this is going to ask you how you want this page to show up. So now the behavior of this pop-up form, remember that a pop-up form is just going to appear on your website. It can appear by the side, it can appear on the main page, on your website, wherever you want to add this so you can add it on your landing page, whatever it is you want to use. And we can decide how we want this pop-up form to show up. We can decide that it should wait 5 seconds before it shows up, and we can say we also want it to show up when the user scroll up to 50% of the page. You can also decide that you want this pop-up form to show up when they want to close the page. So when you want to close the page, it is going to bring out the pop-up form, but remember that it doesn't work on mobile, so you have to take note of that. So you can also decide the frequency of this pop-up. So that means if a user sees this pop-up, when next are they going to see the pop-up? You can decide that you want it to be in 1 month or 1 day, or maybe even in minutes, or you can say you should always show up if you want. And also you can decide to set the timing for the pop-up in advance. So that means if you do not want the pop-up to happen now, you can set the time for the pop-up to happen. So you can say, for instance, if you're having a promotion that is going to happen in March, or is going to happen in April, and you want to just create the pop-up so that you just have it in, you can schedule the time that the pop-up will start showing up. Maybe you want to set it to a future date in March or a future date in April. You can also do that. And you can decide to use none if you want the pop-up to show up immediately. So you can decide that you want the pop-up to hide on specific pages. You can add in the particular URL you do not want this pop-up to show up, and you can decide to show on specific pages. So that means it is going to show up on specific pages of your website that you are going to be adding it to. So we want it to always show, so we are going to save that. And when you make sure that all of this behavior settings is done and is correct, you click on save changes. So now this is going to save your changes, and you can be able to add this pop-up form on your website. So now this is the part that I feel most people get lost, and that is how to embed this pop-up form on their websites. So that means you are going to be adding this JavaScript snippet in the head form or in the head page of your website. So if you have your website already, you need to add in this code on the head page of your website for this pop-up to work. So I'm going to go ahead and add it to the head page of my own website so I can show you how to do that. Okay, so now let me show you how to embed this pop-up form on our website. So now this is how the pop-up form look like. The status is on. that means this is active, and the double opt-in is not on because we do not need double opt-in. You can edit the behavior here, and you can change all of this if you want. So now the behavior of the pop-up form is that it is going to show up 5 seconds after being on the page, and we have the JavaScript here. So now they've put in the instruction in here. So now we need to look for the head tag of our website, and we need to insert this code into the head tag of our website. So that means you're going to look for where you can find the head tag, or some people call it, some websites call it header code. So you need to look for where you can find that on your website, and you need to insert it. So all I'm going to do is just to copy this code. Okay, so I'm going to copy the code into the header code, and yeah, when I paste the code in here, I'm going to click on save, and that is going to save my header code for my website. Remember that this is the general code for my website. Then I'm going to go to the page where I want this pop-up form to show up, and I'm going to go to my edit page. So I'm going to use this one. Let me use this page, home page, and I'm going to, yeah, the code is already in here, but let me just cancel this. So I'm going to paste the code here, and as you can see, the code has been pasted in the header code, also for the page code. Remember that that one was for my general website page, the general website, while this one is for this page code. And when I click on save, and that has been saved, and I go into the edit content of my on my website, the home page, and I click on, let me just change something. Yeah, so just in case you are using other tools like Wix, like WordPress, you just need to copy that code that we got from MailerLite, and you need to paste it in the header page or the header code of your main website, and you can come into the particular page. You remember that there are pages, different pages, your home page, your services page. You need to paste the header code on that page also. So we pasted it on the header code of this page, and we're just going to click on publish. But before we click on publish, let me show you how to do the second one also. So when we go back to MailerLite and we click on the show on click event, so we want this pop-up to show up as a button also. So when we click on copy this code, we can go back into our website here, and we can paste this code. Let's say we want to paste this code here. So we click on add elements, and we click on code snippets. Remember that we are still using code snippets, and we can also use the pop-up here. Let me cancel this so I show you. So I can click on add snippet, and when I click on add snippet, I can use pop-up. Let's name this pop-up 333, and we click on OK, and we are going to be adding this code that we got from here. We're going to be adding it into those sites. So let's just click on this, and when we click on this, we can now click on OK, and that has added the code on the page of the website. So now when I click on publish of this page, I should be able to see both the what's it called, the button, and also the pop-up form. So let's wait for like 5 seconds on this page. The pop-up form should show up. As you can see, it showed up immediately, like after 5 seconds. So now they can be able to fill out this pop-up form. And remember that because we're using a free account, we cannot be able to remove this MailerLite branding, but when we upgrade to a paid account, we can then remove it. So now, as you can see, this is our pop-up form, and they can fill in the form, and when they fill in this form here, it is going to sync back into MailerLite, and you can click on cancel here. Let's try it out. So let's see, let's add in an email. Let's say this is Hema at gmail.com, and the name is Glory. My last name is Ferry. I'm just adding anything. So I just click on join now, and when I click on join now, as you can see, this is this success page that is going to show up on your pop-up form. So now they can click on cancel when they are done, and as you can see, this is the button to show up the form. So they can also click on the button here. As you can see, it is saying that I have joined the form, but in case I have not joined, they can also be able to click on that button, and it's going to take them also to the pop-up form. So that is how to add the pop-up form in MailerLite. So let's refresh this page and let's see if there is any nobody coming in. So when you go to analytics, as you can see, one subscriber has been collected, and that is because I just filled out my name on that form, and it has collected my it has collected my details. So now I can also see the number of times this pop-up form has shown up, and I can see the visitors, the subscribers, and as you can see, it is showing me as a subscriber the information I just filled in from the pop-up page on my website. So it is actually very simple. How to embed this pop-up form is simple. You just need to get the header code of your website, just paste the code into the header code of your website, and the header code should also be on your the particular page you want this pop-up form to show up. So the header code of both pages should be added. Yeah, I hope that's not confusing. Just follow this step by step and you are definitely going to get it. So that is how to add pop-up form into our website. So the next thing we want to do now that I forgot to mention is how to create A and B testing campaign, and I forgot that because so I forgot to mention, I forgot to show how we can do that. So I'm just going to click on create campaign, and I'm going to add A or B split campaign. So I'm going to click on continue, and now in A or B test, it is going to be different from the normal campaign we just created recently or in the past, but we can also name this. So let's name this welcome email. Let's name this welcome email, and we want to make the A or B test should be on email subject. So we can say that the email subject should be the one with the A or B test, or we want to use the from name, or we want to use the email content, or we want to use the sending time. So this actually helps in different ways, and it helps you to be able to carry a split test on all of this thing. You can use the email content, you can use the subject line. For the sake of this tutorial, we are going to be using the subject line. It just means that you need to perform a test, different test for subject A, subject B. The same thing applies for email content. For email content, you are going to be creating two different email contents, which is going to be going out to some set of people, and another is going to be going out to another set of people. So let's use the subject line, and by using subject line, we can say something like maybe the first one should be, we are going to insert the name, and we are going to put a comma, and we are going to say maybe it's nice having you here. And the next one can be maybe welcome, it's nice having you here, then the name is after. So you can twist the subject line however you want, and remember that this is the sender email. You can also add a pre-header if you want. You can add the recipient, and also for the recipient you can choose all subscribers if you want. Let's choose all. So we are going to click on select, and that is going to select all of our subscribers that we currently have. So let me take this up here, and when you are done with that, you can click on next, and when you click on next, it is going to go to the next page of what you need to do. So remember that we are using drag and drop, so let's just continue with drag and drop, and we can add in whatever elements we want to add. Remember that I've explained it in the formal normal campaign we did. You can adjust this, you can add images, you can do all of this. Then when you are done, you click on done editing, and when you click on done editing, I'm going to continue anyway, just so we can move on. Okay, let me resolve this. Okay, yeah. So now I'm in my A or B test, and now I can say that for the first subject line that we created, 25% of our people or of the subscribers should go to the subject A, while subject B should also go to 25% of our subscribers. And we can say we want to select the winners by click, or we want to select the winners by open. Since it's a subject line, we want to say that whoever or which one is having the highest click should, or the highest open should be the winner. So that means 25% of the 23 contact that we have is 6. So 6 will be sent So subject A will be sent to 6 people, subject B will be sent to 6 people, and the winner is going to get the remaining 11, and we are picking this by the number of opens, and we are testing this. That means after 1 day of testing, or you can say after 2 days, after 3 days, whatever days you want to use. You can use hours also if that works for you. So we can say after 2 days of testing, whoever is the winner, whether subject A or subject B, should move on and send to the remaining contact. This is actually very, very good if you want to do if you want to see the content that actually works for your business. So you can also reduce this test this split test and percent. You can say you want to use 20-20. You can say you want to use just 10% of people. So you just edit this however you want. Be free, like use whatever works for you. So when you are done, you click on next review, and when you click on next review, it's going to review all of this. You're going to see your subject 1 and your subject 2, your split test A, your split test B. You're going to see the sender, and you're going to see all of this. You can then decide to schedule this campaign to go out later, or you can send now if you want. So let's schedule it to go out later, and we can use Africa Lagos, which is our time zone. Okay, where is Africa Lagos? Let me use Lagos. So Africa Lagos is my time zone since I'm from Nigeria, and as you can see the dates here, we can edit these dates, and we can use the 12th of February, and we can say we want this campaign to go out 10 a.m. if that works for us, or you can use whatever time works for you, and you can click on schedule. And remember that the winner is going to be selected by open after 2 days. And as you can see, your A and B test email has been scheduled, and it is going to be sent in 18 hours. Yeah, in 18 hours. Or which one? Yeah, A and B test is going to be sent here. And as you can see, you can rename this if this works. You can rename this if you want to rename this. You can copy to draft. You can also review the email to see what is going on with this particular email. And as you can see, you can review the content. The track open was enabled. You can see all of the recipients, and you can cancel the sending if you want to cancel it. If you do not want to send out this A and B split test, you can just cancel it, and that will be cancelled. So that is for A and B test. Remember that the difference between A and B test and the regular campaign is just that we are going to be testing different variants, whether we are testing the email subject, or we are testing the subject line of the email, or we are testing the what's it called, the body of the campaign itself. If you are testing the body of the campaign, it is better for you to judge the winner by the number of clicks, and that is because if they are clicking on your campaign, they are clicking some things in your campaign, it is showing that that particular campaign is interactive, and you want to send a particular campaign to every other person that is remaining in your test list. All right, thank you guys. We are going to be going to the next thing, and the next thing we want to see now is how to set up automation in MailerLite. Okay, so before we go into the automation, before we learn how to create automation, it is very important to look at how to create a different product in MailerLite. So when you go into your products tab, you click on the menu products, you are going to see this place where you can create different products in MailerLite. So for instance, we have digital products, we have subscription, we have donation, we have appointments, membership, and all of this is created in MailerLite, so that if you are selling a product, maybe a digital product, or if you have a subscription, you can create that for your business. So one thing to note is that donation is currently not available, appointment is also not available, and membership is also not available. It is coming very soon, so I believe they are working on it, and when it is out, I believe they will let us know. And now you can start by creating a digital product. So if you are selling ebooks, if you are selling PDFs, if you are selling courses, or if you are selling templates or other digital resources, you can use the digital product to create that product, and you can start selling it through your campaigns and maybe through your landing pages also. So let's create a digital product and let's see how that looks like. So when you click on digital product, as you can see here, we need to answer all of these questions, or we need to put in all of these details. So for the purpose of this video, we're just going to be using something simple, not overly complicated. So let's say we want to create a course and want to create a CRM cleaning course where we're going to be teaching people how to clean their CRM effectively and optimally. So let's name this product let's say CRM cleaning cost. So I've added in a subject name, the product name. We are naming it CRM cost optimization course. And also you can add in whatever description you want to use for your product. You can also select the price that you want to use for your product. You can select the price that is currently set for your account. So since my account is based in Nigeria, it is bringing out my my Naira sign. So if your account is based in maybe United States, it is going to bring your the particular sign of your currency. So it can be USD, it can be in euros. So whatever it is, you can add that. You can also add a discount if you want to give people a discount for your product. You can say that you want to give them maybe, let's say, 10% discount, and we are selling this in Naira. Let's say we are selling this 100,000. Yeah, or that's a million. So let's say we are selling this 100,000 and we are giving them a 10% discount, and 10% discount of 100,000 is 10,000 naira. So that means they are going to be paying 9,000 naira. And you can also decide to attach the cost in here. So if the cost is maybe like a PDF file, or if it's an external URL, you can also add that. You can also attach a file if it's just something like a simple PDF that you're selling. So let's say we want to attach a file. I'm just going to attach a random file from our system. Okay, so I just brought in a random file from my system, and you can also decide to upload the product image. If you have the product image currently in your system, you can also bring that in. So let's just bring in something simple, or let's say something, let me see. Okay, let me bring in one of my thumbnails and just add that in. So we are going to be adding this as our product image. So we've uploaded that, and it's going to come into MailerLite. And when it comes into MailerLite, you can decide to select the particular thing you want to include. So since we are already in the PDF part, we're just going to select the PDF here, and as you can see, the PDF has been attached to the digital product. So now we also want to decide what is going to happen after the checkout. We can decide that we want to add them to a group, and we can also decide that we want to remove them from a group, and we can also decide that we want to update one custom field, the custom field we have created for the particular course. So we can say that we want to create a custom field called maybe purchase cost, a cost custom field, and you want to update that cost custom field. You can update that. You can also remove them from a group if you want. You can add them to a group. So let's say you want to add these people that are buying this course from a group. You can select whatever group you have, and you can just add them to that group. So let's say you want to add them to the contact form list. This is a group, and you can also decide to create a new group if that works for you. So if we are creating a new group, we can say that we want to name this group let's say course list. When you add the name of the group, you can then click on save. As you can see, the name of the group has been added and the list has been picked, the group has been picked. So that is the action that is going to happen after the checkout. So that means after the payment has been made and after they've paid for this course, they are going to be going into this group. So now let's go ahead and add in a product image. So I'm just going to add this as my product image, and I'm going to select this, and when I select this, it is going to add as my product image. As you can see on the sidebar here, this is a preview of how our course is going to look like to everyone that is going to be coming through the link. So when you are done with all of these details, adding the discounts, the file, and the description and product name, you click on continue, and that is going to take you to this place where you can be able to customize your Stripe account. So you can decide to customize the checkout page in MailerLite, or you can decide that you want to customize it in Stripe. If you are customizing in Stripe, it is going to help you. You will need to connect your Stripe account to your MailerLite account, and since I do not have a Stripe account, I'm just going to customize in MailerLite. So now MailerLite is going to take control of the payments and everything that needs to be done. So now that you have done this, let's upload our logo, and when we bring in this logo, we're just going to select this. So when we select the logo that has been added, you can add in the title of the checkout. As you can see, it is already in it is already named order summary, so you can just leave it that way. And the purchase button now is pay now, or you can say buy course. So the fields we are requiring them to put in is the name. You can also decide that you want to collect their first name and you want to collect their last name if that is actually important to you. And you can also decide that you want to add in an opt-in so that people can be able to subscribe to your email list. So that means they can be able to, you can add in whatever group you want to add, and you can ask them to click on that checkbox so that they can be able to subscribe to your list. Okay, you can also decide that you automatically want to send payment receipts via Stripe, so you need to connect your Stripe to do this. You can also determine that you want to add in terms and conditions or terms of service for the course. So if there are some terms and conditions that you need to give for this course, you can add the URL to the terms and conditions that you have. Maybe you have a terms and conditions on your website, you can just put in the link in here. You can also determine that you want to enable tax ID collection if that is required. Maybe in your country you need to get the tax ID before they can be able to buy the course. You can also do that. You can also decide that you want to enable more payment method. So the more payment method means that they can pay through card, they can pay through whatever option it is available in MailerLite currently. So let's just leave this the way it is. So now that we've done everything here, just make sure you know the things you are going to be needing. If you do not need everything, you can just toggle the things you don't need off and just leave the things you need. So now when you are done with all of this, you click on continue, and when you click on continue, as you can see, our first product has been created in MailerLite. So now when you click on continue also, you are going to see the product in MailerLite. For me to start selling, I need to connect my Stripe account. So all you need to do to connect your Stripe account is just to click on the connect Stripe account, and it's going to take you to the integration part, and it's going to tell you the process you need to set up your Stripe account. So since I do not have a Stripe account, I cannot set this up, and I'm just going to go back to my product, and I cannot start selling until I connect my Stripe account. So when you connect it, it is going to get integrated into MailerLite, then you can start selling. If you want to edit this, you can just click on the edit button. It is going to take you to the overview and everything you need to do. This is also going to allow you to edit some parts of the checkout, and if you are done with that, you just need to click on save and go back. And you can also copy the URL link by clicking here and click on copy URL, and this is going to give you the the URL of the product, and you can then send to maybe the people on your list. You can send to people on your list through the email or the landing page, whatever works for you. Yeah, so the checkout link is actually not working because I have not connected my Stripe. So when you connect your Stripe and it is good to go, then you can start selling. So that is it for products in MailerLite. So when you connect your Stripe, you can start selling. You can also set up the emails that is going to go out after the product has been sent or has been bought. You can edit this email. You can edit the subject line. You can also edit the preview. Edit the body of the email. And when you click on edit, you can then change whatever it is you want to change. And as you can see, it is allowing them to download this particular product from the email itself. So that is it for products, digital products. And if you go back to products tab and you want to create a new product, all you need to do is just to click on create product. So now we can only create one product, and that's fine. And before we can create another product, we need to upgrade, so we are just going to do with one. Now that we are done with products, let us go into sites and let's see how we can design a landing page. So you can design landing pages in MailerLite. You can set up sign up form and include it in your landing pages. There are content blocks you can include, like text, like images, and all of the things you need. There are also newsletter archives you can use to promote content. They have contact form. They have surveys block that you can add into your landing page. So to create a new landing page, all you need to do is to come over under the menu landing page and click on create. And when you get to this place, it is going to ask you for the name of your landing page. So let's say we are naming this sales page. So we are naming this sales page, and it is asking us, is this a landing page or is this a website? So since we are starting with landing page, we are going to say this is a landing page, and we are going to click on save and continue. And that is going to take us to the next step, where we can add the particular group that is going to be for this landing page. So that means if anyone is filling their details from this landing page, is going to be coming into this group. So we can add them to contact form list, and also you can add a new group if that works for you. And when you click on continue, as you can see, that is going to help you, and you can be able to choose different templates, and you can also decide to start from scratch. So just because we are on the free plan, we cannot choose a template. Yeah, so we need to upgrade before we can choose the template. So the best available thing now is that we can start from scratch. You can also use AI, but it's also in the paid plan. And as you can see, it is asking me to watch this video for me to be able to like build the landing page. So I'm just going to continue to build that. And now this is the editor of our landing page, and as you can see over here, we have this part where we can add in different elements, where we can add in heading, we can add in text, images, videos, buttons, and all of this. At this point, we can add in different sections. So there are pre-built sections that we can add, and we can add it to our landing page. We also have the style, where you can add in the primary color, the secondary color, or your text color. You can also add in the typography, that is the kind of font you want for your header, or the font you want for your paragraph. You know, you can actually edit this the way you want. So if you are using some set of colors for your brand colors, you can bring everything in here into your styles, and you can also decide to edit this tertiary styles. So you can also do this for the sizes, so the font sizes, the height, if it is a large font. Oh, sorry, this is for button. Yeah, so if it is a regular button, the color of the regular button, the font size, the height, and all of these things can be done in styles. And also when you go over to your setting, you can see where it is asking you different questions, whether you want to impute paid navigation, and when you turn this off, it is going to remove the page navigation. So that means this navigation is going to be taken off when you toggle that off. But if you want to include your page navigation, you can leave that in. You can also decide to take off your page layouts. You can leave it on. You can add in a notification bar if that works for you. You can add in capture if that works for you, or you can take it off. So you can add in different animation, whether fade, or you can use none, or you can use flip up, whatever it is you want to add, and you can click on add. And when you click on add, that is going to add whatever you've added. And then you can see your social media links here. You can decide to add the link to Facebook, you can add the link to X, you can add whatever link to your social links you want to add. If you want to take off any social link you're not currently using for your business, if you're not using Twitter, which is X, you can take that off and just leave whatever you need. You can leave whatever you need on. And also you can also see over here that we have the landing page, which is the main page. We also have the success page, which is the thank you page. So MailerLite do not call it thank you page, they call it success page. So we have the mobile view also, which you can click here to see how the landing page is going to look like on a mobile view, and you can also click on the desktop just to see how it is also going to look like in the desktop view. So now let's try to create a simple landing page and just insert some sections so that we can move on. So we are going to be adding this arrow button, section. So when we bring that in, we can change this image. When you click on this image, you can edit the style of the image if you want. You can select an image from your file manager, and you can insert that image into your landing page. You can also change all of this text over here. You can change this this heading text also. You can bolden it if that works for you. You can italize it, you can underline, you can do whatever you want over here. You can also align to the left, to the center, to the right, you know, just the normal conventional text styles that we have, the text edits that we have. You can also edit your buttons over here. You can include the link to the buttons. So this is going to link to a particular page, and you can also decide that you want this link to open in a new tab. You can also decide to edit all of these. You can duplicate, which I just did. You can delete if you do not want, and you can also decide to delete the old sections you've just added if you want. You can do the settings for this section to change the width and the height, the spacing, and all of this. You can duplicate this section if you want, and when you click on duplicate, it is going to duplicate this particular page like this. So we do not want this. We are just going to click on delete. So that has been deleted. We can also drag in another section. So let's drag in, let's drag in this. And when you drag in another section, as you can see, this is another section that you can edit for your landing page. You can add the team members that you currently have and all of this. So after you've added all of the sections and you've edited what you need to do, you can then go back to the home page. So after you've added in everything you need to add, you can click on the settings page for the navigation menu, and you can edit it by taking off some parts. If you delete this and leave only home and contact, you can decide where home is going to go to, and you can say the home is going to go to a particular URL or the contact is going to go to a particular URL. So for your landing page, if you are creating a new landing page, you can just decide to create a new landing page to your website, just to make sure that they are also getting access to your website from your landing page that you've created. So all you need to do is just to add the external URL. If you want to add in the landing page, you can add in the landing page we are creating now, which is the sales page. You can also do that. You can also decide that you want them to lead to an anchor block, so it can be the first one or it can be the second section that we have down below. So if we are picking the side by side, which is this first section, when they click on home, is going to be coming here, and when they when you update this, that has been updated. So for contact, we can just drag in a block here. Let's see if we can see a contact block. Okay, so I've seen one, so I'm just going to drag this in here. So I'm just going to push this down, and when you click on this button here, it's going to take this section down, and as you can see, it is currently down. When you want to take it up, just click on the up button. So since this is a contact us block, when we go back into our menu here, we can then decide that we want to change this contact button. We can then use, instead of using external URL that is going to lead to your website or external URL that you have, you can just lead to a particular anchor block, and it's going to ask you the anchor block you want to use. So we are going to lead this to this survey that is below, and when you are done, you just click on add, and when you click on add, that has updated that contact us page. So for the link, we do not need the link. We're just going to take this off, and we click on update, and that has been updated. So that is for the menu, and also this is for your logo over here. So I'm just going to select an image for our logo, and I'm just going to insert this, and as you can see, the logo has been done. And we have the contact us, where you can be able to allow people to maybe create a form and just allow them to be able to come to that form when they click on contact us. The same way, you can use external URL like your website, or you can use an anchor, you can use a pop-up, you can use landing page, or whatever it is you want to use. Okay, so when you click on external URL, you can just add in the link, and also when you click on the pop-up, you can select the particular pop-up that you have on your in your MailerLite account. So let's click our contact form for the pop-up, and that should be added. Okay, so that is added, and after making sure that you've added in all of the widgets you need for your landing page, you can then preview to see how this landing page is going to look like. So now this is our landing page, and all of this thing has been added. Just make sure that you correct everything and make sure that everything is ready to go before you click on publish. So when you are done editing, and then you can click on done editing, and that is going to save your landing page, and it is going to take you to this place where you can see your landing page URL. So if you do not like the link they are giving you in the landing page URL, you can edit it and you can add in whatever you want to add. So let's say we want to change this landing page, and we want to add maybe contact, or let's say this is our sales page. So we are just going to name this sales page. Oh, it's already in use. Okay, CRM instructor. So it is telling us now that custom domain is not available in the free plan, and that's fine. So custom domain means that instead of using the regular URL that MailerLite is providing, you can use your own custom domain like CRM instructor has. You can use that for this landing page. You can also choose a favicon icon. Let's use our logo, and you can also do your SEO settings by adding the page title, the keywords you want to use for your landing page, and page description. You can also decide that you want to index this page if you want, and when you're done, you just click on save and continue. So when you click on save and continue, that has saved your landing page, and you can also decide to create a split test if you want. So when you click on create split test, you can create two different versions of your landing page, and maybe you change some things in the landing page just to have two different variations of landing page, so you can see which one is performing better. But split test is not available in the free plan, we cannot do that. So we go back to our overview. We can edit the design if we want. The edit design is just going to take us back into the editor where we can edit whatever we want. Then when we're done with editing, we can just click on done editing. And when you click on done editing, that has been done. You can see that the status we have here is published. This landing page is published, and as you can see, this is the link to our landing page, and these people, anybody that fill in any form in this landing page, is coming in here into this group. And as you can see, we can see the people that are visiting our page. We can see the survey reports, the survey we added for the down below. We can see it when people complete the survey. We can also see the automation that is connecting to this particular landing page. Maybe if you want people to come in, maybe when they fill out the form, or maybe when they come in through this landing page, you want to send a particular sequence to them, you can set up that automation. You can also see the domains that are connected to this particular landing page, but since we do not have our site domains, we need to upgrade to do that, so we're just going to ignore that. For this landing page also, you can decide to integrate to your e-commerce store. So maybe if you're using Shopify or if you're using WooCommerce, you can connect it, and you can also make sure that you can add products into your landing page from your online store. You can also do the link tracking, where you can see all of the particular links in your landing page, and you can track them if you want. Okay, you can do the double opt-in also if you want the double opt-in for the landing page. You can also connect Stripe to this landing page so that you can also collect payments, and you can unpublish this page if you do not want. And if you want to take off double opt-in, you can take that off. You can also see the page URL. You can copy this page URL and you can insert it in your landing pages or your email or your website, so that people can have access to that landing page. So when you come to a new tab and you paste in your URL for your landing page, as you can see, this is the URL for the landing page, and they can be able to view your landing page, and you can do whatever it is you want them to do. And the contact us over here is going to lead to the Popup form that we have, and when they fill in these details, it is going to go into the group that is connected to this landing page, which is the contact form list. Okay, so that is all for landing pages. So when we go back to site, we can also create a website in MailerLite. So when we want to create a website, you can just come in over to the website tab, and to create a new website, all you need to do is just to click on create, and then it is going to ask you for the name of the website. So we are just going to name this CRM instructors website or consulting. Then you click on save and continue, and that is going to ask you also where you want this people from the website coming in from this website, where you want them to go to, the group you want them to go to. Then you can then pick whatever group you currently have, or you can create a new one, and then when you click on continue, it is going to take you to the page where you can choose a template also. But since we are on the free plan, we cannot choose a template. We have to start from scratch. We can also build with AI, but that is also coming soon. And let's start from scratch and let's see how that is going to look like. So when you click on create, it is going to take you to the editor page where you can be able to edit your website. So now for our website, as you can see, we have different things we can do on our website. So this is a website, and then you can add in you can edit this however you want. And as you can see, this is our navigation. So you can see the current page you currently are in. So we have different pages, like this is the about us page. You can also go ahead and edit this. You can change this however you want. You can also add in different blocks into this page. You can add in the text block, you can add in the divider block. If you want to add in testimonials with star rating, you can also do that inside of your website. You can add in the 2 column, the 3 column. You can add in buttons. You can add in columns, maybe 3 columns or 2 columns. You can add in image carousel. After that, you can also add in form. If you want to add in the sign up form or the contact us form, you can add in whatever form you want to add in here. You can add in survey. You can add in quiz. You can add in countdown. Maybe if you are creating in a countdown for a particular event, all you need to do is just to bring in the countdown here, and you can set the time and the date for the countdown. So you can say the number of days you want for this countdown, and you can also say the number of hours you want to use. You can set the countdown, and you can say the expiration days of the countdown. So if you want this countdown to expire maybe by the end of this month or by next month, you can set the particular date, and when you're done, you just click on save setting, and that is going to set your countdown. You can also add in a table, you can add in HTML code, you can add in an anchor, and the anchor will just allow you to be able to move what's it called, to place different section, and there is an anchor between the landing pages so that a button can link to that anchor section or whatever it is you want to do. You can add in products if you've connected your maybe you've connected your e-commerce store, you can add in the products also. And for the pages, we have 3 pages, which the first one is the intro page. And for the intro page, it is going to take you to the intro page. You can also name it whatever you want to name this. So instead of saying intro, you can say maybe home page, and when you add that in, you can also save that. If you want to hide it from the navigation, you can also do that, and that means it is not going to show up in this part, in this menu. But if you want it to show up, you can just undo this, and you can make it show up. You can also use password protection, but we need a paid plan for that. And you can, when you're done, you just click on save, and when you click on save, you can also move to the next page and do the same thing and edit that. And the next page is the contact us page, and the contact us page, you can also edit that however you want. So for this, we can also create a new page, and we can say that we want to create a new page, or want to use blog, or maybe want to use an external link. You can also add in an external link for this particular page. So we can say that we want to add in a page name, and we want this page of this particular website to lead to another link outside of this website that we are creating. And when you've added that link, let me look for a random link on the website. Let's say we want to name this page get started, and we want this get started to link to an external link. Then we can add in the link here, and this link here is going to get opened whenever this get started menu is clicked on. So now we can then click on save, and we can open this page in a new tab if you want, and you can also click on save. And as you can see, get started has been added in. Okay, so for contacts, we are going to make sure it is not hiding from the navigation. We want to see it in the navigation. Then we can click on save, and we can also decide that this intro is going to be our home page. It is already marked as home page. You just click on save. So if you want to use any other page apart from this as the home page, so you can click on the button, and you can click on set as home page. So when you click on set as home page, that is going to make this page to be the home page instead of the intro page. So when you are done, you click on save, and when you click on save, that has been saved. So before you publish your website, you can preview the website just to see how it is going to look like for to the external subscribers, or to the external people that are viewing your website. So as you can see, we have this intro here, and yeah, my get started is not showing. Let me go back. Okay, so you can preview the website. You can check the intro page, you can check the about us page, just to see how everything is looking like before you publish the website. When you are sure that all of the fields are working, the content is okay, then you can click on save and publish. And when you click on save and publish, that is going to lead you to this page where you can publish your site. So now, as you can see, we have this URL. You can also decide to edit this URL if you want, and you can also add in a custom domain, but you need to have a paid plan for you to do that. You can add in a favicon, and let's say we want to use our image as this favicon, so let's choose this. And we can also add the page title, the page keyword. You can use the sitemap, whatever it is you want to add in, you can add in that. And when you're done, you can just click on save and continue. Okay, So when you click on save and continue, as you can see, the website has been published, and you can edit the design to go back to check in for the edits. You can check the analytics, you can check in the survey report, you can create an automation for this website. And when you want to unpublish this page, you can just click on unpublish. You can also turn off the double opt-in if that works for you, and you can edit the particular group that these emails or the contacts are going to be coming into, and you can see all of the things you've done, all of the things that are empty, all of the things that you filled in. And you can also edit this setting to go back to fill in all of this. And when you copy this website link, you can then paste it in your new tab, and you can also see how that is going to look like. And this is our website. It is showing us the contact page and the about us page, and you can also check it to look at how it's going to look like to you before you send it out to your contact list. Okay, so that is all about websites. And remember that landing pages are different from websites in MailerLite. They are actually very similar, but they are actually different. So when you go back to site, you can then see your sales page, and you can see your website that you've created. So remember that also, if you want to create a new site, you just click on create site. Now that we are done with landing pages and website, let us see how we can create automations in MailerLite. So to create an automation, all you need to do is just to go into MailerLite and click on the automation tab. And when you click on the automation tab, you can see the part where you can create your first automation. But if you've created if you've created an automation before in MailerLite, you can see all of your available automation. But since this is a new account, we are creating an automation from scratch. So when you click on create, it is going to take you to this place where you can create from scratch, or you can also pick the different templates that they have. So they have various templates that you can actually pick from. They have the simple email, welcome email, they have in-access subscribers email, like they have a lot. I mean, at least it's still manageable that you can pick from. Some ones are advanced automation. So if you are just starting out, you can use a simple automation first, just to see how it is going to look like. But for the sake of this tutorial, we are going to be starting from scratch so that we can see how to do this from scratch. So when you click on create, it is going to ask you for the automation name. So let's say this is a welcome series, and we click on start building, and this is going to take us to our editor page where we can start building our automation. So now we can start building our automation. And when you click on, as you can see, we have different triggers and we have different rules and action that can be performed in MailerLite. So one thing to note is that a trigger is just something that needs to be done before an automation takes place. So for instance, maybe if someone completes a form, you want to create an automation for them, or when someone joins a group, you want to create an automation for them, or maybe someone, when they join a segment, you want to also create an automation for them. So the trigger is just saying that what needs to happen before this automation sets off. So whatever that is going to happen, that is called a trigger. And the rules are an action. The rules are just things that are in place to make sure that the correct set of people are receiving the actions that are going to be in the automation. For instance, under rules, we have delay, we have conditions. You can set up a delay and say that if they join a particular group, which is the trigger, if they complete a form, which is the trigger, we can say that the condition to do is to wait for maybe 10 days, or we want to wait for 5 days before we start sending them the email. Then the action is what needs to be done after the trigger has been done and after the conditions have been met. So for instance, we can say the condition is to send to everyone from Nigeria, or to send everyone from United States, or to send to everyone from Japan or China, or whatever country you are using. So that is for the condition. And the action. The action, like I said, is something that needs to be done after the trigger has taken place and after the condition also has been met. Okay, so let's move on. So let's say we want to start with the trigger first, which is the very obvious thing to do. You're going to start with the trigger, and you have different triggers you can use. We have all of these. We have when they complete a form, and if you're going to pick in when they complete a form, then you just need to drag this in here. And as you can see, that has been dragged in as the trigger, and we can select which particular form we want to use for this trigger. So we can say that when they complete the contact form, we want to add them into this automation, or we can say when they complete the sales page, which is in our landing page, you remember, right? So we can also use that also. And when you've picked the particular thing you want to use, you can just click on save, and that is going to save your trigger. Okay, so that is for trigger. And when you go back into this part, as you can see, it is telling me that I can only have one trigger on my free plan, and that's because I'm on the free plan. I need to go into the advanced plan before I can be able to add more than one trigger. So it is possible that you want to add one or more trigger, or you want to add more trigger to your automation. So you can say that you want them to, when they complete the form, which is called sales page, and also maybe when they click on a link, you can drag that trigger also. So you can have 2 to 3 or 4 triggers, or whichever one works for you. But to do that, you need to go to the advanced plan, which is about, I think, $20 per month, and you can set up multiple trigger when you are on that plan. So since we have this, I'm just going to delete this, and just to show you exactly how we can use other ones. So we can also say when there is an update on a field, maybe if there's a field update. For instance, we have lead source and we have lead status, and we can say if the lead status is changing from, let's say if it's changing from open to in progress, we want to do this. Maybe we want to send an email, or if the list status is changing from in progress to completed, we want to send a thank you email to the contact, or you want to do whatever it is you want to do to the contact. So you choose the custom field that you currently have in MailerLite, and as you can see, these are the custom fields you created for lead source. So we can say if the lead source contains, or if it does not contain, you can use any of these conditions that has been set here. You can also say that if the lead source is not set, maybe you want to ask you want to send an email to the contact to fill in their lead source, just to, you can twist this however you want. So let's say if the lead source contains you can say if it contains website, or if it contains if the lead source contains referral, just picking whatever it is you want to use. And also you can create a new field if that works for you, and also you can just, let's delete this and pick another one. So that is for update field. And also we can create a automation and pick the automation to go out on an exact date. So the exact date means that when it is in a particular date, we want this automation to be triggered. So we can say that we want this automation to be triggered for contact form. So we can use a date field. If you currently have a date field in MailerLite, let's say you created a date field, and maybe there's a meeting dates that you want to meet with them, or let's say there's an anniversary date that they've put in, but it is a custom field and it is a date, you can set an automation to go out at that particular date. So maybe you are sending a proposal and the proposal completed date has been added in MailerLite, you can set an automation to go out at a particular date. So for instance, we have this particular date that is from MailerLite itself, so we can say maybe MailerLite first order date. So the first order that they're getting on our MailerLite account, we can decide to use that particular date and create an automation from that. So we can say we want it to go out on that date, or we can say we want it to go out before one day before, or maybe 1 month before, just picking whatever works for you. And you can also determine the time that this this automation is going to go off. So the time that the automation will be triggered can be 10 a.m. And you can also choose the time zone that you want to use. And when you're done, you just click on save, and when you click on save, that is going to save this trigger. So that is for the exact date. Let's see another one. Okay, so we can also say that we want to use an event anniversary. So the event anniversary can be maybe their birthdays. So the event anniversary, we are going to pick a group first, and we can also use an event anniversary. So the event anniversary can be the maybe the time they came in, the time they were first created in MailerLite. So maybe we are celebrating 2 years with them, or you are celebrating 3 years with them. You can create that in the automation. You can also say something like, if you have the birthday field where they've already filled in their birthday, you can also use this trigger as an automation. You can create an automation from this trigger to send in a birthday image on their birthday. that is for anniversary. The same way it works for what's it called, the same way it works for the exact date is the same way it works for anniversary. So let me just go ahead and delete these and see other ones I can bring in. So we can also use for abandoned carts, but you need to be able to connect your e-commerce store before you can use any of these. And since we currently do not have our e-commerce store connected, I'm not sure we can be able to use this. Or we can for the products that we created, I guess. You've added in your e-commerce store like MailerLite or whatever e-commerce store you are using, or Shopify, you can add in abandoned carts. Okay, you can also say that you want to include MailerLite shop. So MailerLite shop, you know, we have digital products, and you can also add in subscriptions. You can create abandoned carts for that. So if they put it, if they got to the checkout point and they did not pay, that means they did not buy the products, we can also maybe trigger this automation in maybe 1 week after the cart has been abandoned, or we can say 2 weeks, or we can say whatever weeks or months you want to use. And when you are done, you click on save, and that is going to save that. As you can see, it is from MailerLite itself, but when you connect other e-commerce store like Shopify or like WooCommerce, you can be able to see it from this drop down here. But since we only have MailerLite, that is why MailerLite is only showing up for now. Okay, so I'm just going to delete this also. And yeah, so the same thing applies for if they buy any products from us, we can set up an automation. So let's just use something simple. Let's say if they come in through a form, that seems like the popular thing that people do. If they come in from the form, let's pick the sales page form, they want to set up an automation. As you can see, this is the plus. Let's save this, sorry. So when you save that, that has been saved, and when you click on this plus button, it is going to ask you to add in the roles and the action. And remember that we can no longer add in a trigger because we can only add one trigger, and that is because we are on the free plan, and the free plan only allows us, the free and the growing plans only allows us to be able to create one trigger. So to create more than one trigger, like I said, you need to go to the advanced plan. So let's add in a rule, and let's say they need to delay for maybe 1 day. So when they come in through the sales page, we can add in 1 day, you can add in 1 month, you can even use a specific time of the day, a specific time of the week. So if they're coming in through this form, we can say that we need to wait until Wednesday before you send this email to them, or you need to wait until Wednesday or Thursday or maybe Saturday or Sunday to send a particular email or to do a particular action. You can also wait for a specific time of the day if that works for you. And let's just use the regular one. Let's just say, okay, let's use this. Let's say this want to use a specific time of the day. We can say maybe you want to wait on Tuesday or Wednesday, and you can also decide a particular time this is going to be triggered. So we can say we want it to be 8 a.m. in the morning, and it is going to be maybe our Africa Lagos time zone. So since I'm in Nigeria, I can pick that. If you are using EST, you can also pick your time zone in here, or PST, or whatever time zone you are using. And it's also saying that the queue subscribers is 0. That is because there is no subscribers that has been able to fill out the sales page form. So now we click on save, and when we click on save, as you can see, it is saying that we wait until Tuesday or Thursday at 8 a.m. using the African Lagos time zone. So that is the condition. So that means after they come in, nothing will be done until Tuesday or Wednesday. So the another delay we can add in, we can add in a condition. So the condition has been added, and now for this condition we can say that we want to check in maybe people coming from a particular lead source, or people that have a particular lead status, or we can even say that we want to separate them based on their country. If you are coming from India, go to this side, which is yes. If you are coming from maybe other parts that are not India, then you can go to the other side. Or you can say that if the lead status is maybe new, you can go to yes, and if it is no, then it can go through another automation. So that is all for condition. Condition just allows you to be able to make sure that all of these people that are passing through the automation are fulfilling a specific criteria. So now to set up our condition, So if we're adding in any rule, it's saying that any of those rules can be fulfilled before they can move on, or we can say all rules must be fulfilled before this criteria can be done. So let me just explain what that means. So if we're picking any rule, we are saying that we can add in multiple conditions. For instance, we can say, let's just add in one condition, and let's say if they've maybe the campaign activities, which is the welcome email, let's say if it was opened, and we can add in another one and say maybe and let's say and they are in a particular group, let's say they are in contact form list, we can add in another condition and say maybe they are now having a custom field. Maybe let's say they are now coming from a particular country, or they are coming from a particular lead source, or they have a particular lead status. So let's pick in lead status, and let's say if the lead status is one off, then we can pick different options. Lead status, we have new, yeah, okay, yeah. So if the lead status is, let's say it contains new, so if the lead status contains new, we can add in another condition, and we can say that let's say the country they are from is Nigeria. The country contains or is equal to Nigeria. So if they are from Nigeria and they have the particular list status as new, and they are belonging to a particular group, and also the campaign activity is opened, then this can be triggered. And remember that we are using all rules. So when we are using all rules, it means that all of this condition, we have 4 conditions in here. So these 4 conditions must be fulfilled before this automation can go on. And if we are using any rules, we are saying that any of these condition can be fulfilled and this automation can be triggered. So it's not confusing at all, just the meaning of the all and the any, just the simple English text. So if it is all of this must be fulfilled, and if it is any of this can be fulfilled. And as you can see, because I chose any, it has changed the and to all, and that is because the all condition is for either of everything must be fulfilled. So if I change this to all rule, that means it is changing this to and, because and means that inclusive of everything must be fulfilled before they can move on. Yeah, I hope that is not confusing. Okay, so when you're done with your conditions, you click on save. And when you click on save now, as you can see, our workflow has been saved and we have different conditions. So now it's either their contacts or subscribers that are fulfilling all of these conditions, and it is also possible that there are some ones that are not fulfilling the condition. So you can say maybe if they are not fulfilling this condition, they should exit this flow. That means nothing is going to be done to them. But if we are saying yes, we can also say that we want to add in another action. So we have different actions that you can use over here. You can send an email, you can send internal notification. That means you can send internal notification to a particular user in MailerLite. So for instance, if people are coming in, we can then send an email to maybe a particular user, maybe the manager in our MailerLite account, and we can say something like we have a new user, or if there's a new purchase, we can set off an automation to send a notification to the user that there is a new purchase in our store, or maybe they got our digital product or our subscription or whatever it is. You can also decide to move to a new step. You can update the custom field if you want. So let's say for this particular workflow, we want to update maybe the lead status, or we want to update the lead source, or if there's any other custom field you have created, you can update that custom field. You can also say that you want to copy to another group if that works for you, or if you want to move that contact to a group. You can also say that you want to remove from a particular group if they're fulfilling that condition, and you can also decide to unsubscribe people if they're fulfilling that condition also. The unsubscribe is actually good if you notice that there are some people that have not been interacting with your email for a while. For instance, they've not opened your email in like 1 year or they've not opened your email in 6 months and you do not want to engage with them again, the best thing you have to do is just to take them out of your of your list. That's the best and the reasonable thing to do, because if they're not engaging with you for if they've not opened your email in 1 year, that actually shows they're not interested in what you do. So you can unsubscribe them from the list, and that means you cannot be able to send emails to them any longer. So for the purpose of this tutorial, we're going to be doing something simple, which is just to send an email. So we can just drag in this email here. So let's drag that in, and we can add the subject line for the email. We can also add the name of the email. We can say the name is this, and we can add in the email subject line. So let's just say something like welcome to CRM Consulting, and it is coming from Emma Glory. This is also the sender email. You can also decide to edit the reply to, and the reply to means that apart from the sender email, if there's any user that you want the person to be receiving the replies, you can change the particular email, the reply to email, to that user's email. So since we do not want that, I'm just going to go back to my normal email. I'm going to add a pre-header if I want that, and I can then go ahead and design my email. So this design my email is going to take me to where I can design my email from scratch. So you can go to the part where we talked about how you can design email when we're creating our email campaign. You can pick from templates. That is if they allow us. Yeah, they do not allow us because we are on the free plan. Okay, we can also use recent emails. So if there are some emails you've sent recently, you can see all of those emails and you can bring them in. So we have some emails we've created. I'm just going to pick them. So let's say we want to choose this. I'm just going to choose that. For the purpose of this tutorial, this is why we are doing this. It is very necessary for you to make sure that you're picking the right email for your automation, because automation, it is something that goes out itself. Unless you pause it or you go ahead and edit it, it is going to be triggered, or it is going to be fulfilled whenever the conditions and the triggers have been met. So this is this email. We are done editing it, and then we can include it into our workflow. So when we click on done editing, and as you can see, just continue anyway. Okay, so now this email has been added into my workflow, and as you can see, this email has been and as you can see, the email content has been added in here, and you can see the language. You can change the language whatever you want. And also we have this part where you can also add in, if you want to add in more than one action, you can actually do that. So for instance, if you want to move to another step, you can just drag this in here. After sending the email, you can move to, maybe you want to move to the condition again, just to make sure that they are fulfilling that condition, but it is going to create a loop, and that is going to create a loop. So if you do not want that, you can just say that you want to move them to, let's say, delay. It's also going to create a loop. If you create to email, it's also going to create a loop. So you can move to any step, just make sure that you're not creating a loop. Okay, so I'm just going to take this off. This cannot work. Okay, so let's click on the plus button, and we can say maybe we want to update a custom field. So after sending the email, we can say that we want to update the lead status, and just make sure that the lead status is no longer new, and we want the lead status to be contacted. So that means because we've sent them an email and we have seen that the email has been sent, then the automation is going to trigger automatically, and it's going to make sure that the list status is moved from whatever list status they are in to contacted. When you're done, you click on save, and as you can see, that automation has been saved. And you can also do the rest of the actions we have in here. You can remove from groups, you can unsubscribe, you can do all of this. So one thing I will advise for you to do before you activate your workflow is to test your workflow. So you have to make sure that your automation is working, and the best way to do this is to test your automation. So when you click on test, it is going to help you to test this automation with any particular email address that you have put in. So you can add in your email address, and it's going to send the test. It is going to ignore the delays and the condition, but it's going to send you the emails so that you can see how the emails is going to look like in your inbox before you activate the automation. So this is actually very good. just to help you minimize mistakes. So if you check the email from your end and you see that there are some mistakes in that email, then now you can go ahead and change those mistakes and before you activate your workflows. So now that we've sent the test email and everything, you can then go ahead and you can click on activate automation. So now it's going to ask you that once you do this, any subscriber that meets this trigger is going to be added into the automation, and this is like a warning. Is making sure that you are sure that everything is completed before it activates this workflow, because if it activates this workflow, everyone that is added to this workflow will be sent the email and every of the thing that needs to be done. So when you are sure that you are correct, you can then click on activate workflow, and that is going to activate your workflow. So your workflow has been activated, and when you go back into your workflows, as you can see, this is your workflow. You can pause it if you want. You can also click on this to preview your automation. You can rename it. You can also duplicate your automation. You can manually add in subscribers into this automation. If there's someone that you want to add in, just manually add in into this workflow. You can then add them in. You can also download the reports, maybe the open rates. You can view the reports also. When you click on view reports, it is going to show you everyone in this automation, all the people that have started, all the people who are currently queued, and all the people that have completed the automation. You can see the unsubscribes, you can see the compliance, you can see the analytics according to the months of the year. So you can see the emails that are currently in that workflow, and you can see the top email clients, and you can see the reading environments and all of this. So if there are orders that are done in this workflow, you can also see all of those orders. You can see the activities for this workflow. You can also see the history for this workflow. So that's all for automation. And also, if you have any questions, please do not forget to leave the question in the comments below. We are going to answer all of your questions. So that is for automation. And yeah, before we go, there is something important I also want to mention. So now, because we do not have access to create email templates, that is why we cannot create email templates in our free plan. So we can create templates for campaigns, we can create templates for landing pages, but due to the fact that we are in the free plan, we cannot create templates. So you can also check in your integration to see the integrations that they currently have. You can use API, e-commerce API, you can use webhooks. So if you have WooCommerce that you are using, you can just click on use, and it will connect your WooCommerce to your MailerLite account. You can also connect with Zapier. Zapier allows you to be able to connect with multiple accounts that are currently not in MailerLite. So it is possible that there are some apps that you are using, they do not have the native integration with that particular app. The best thing for you to do is just to use Zapier. Zapier is going to help you connect to whatever account you are using. Okay, so that is for integration, and I think that is all. And also remember that when you go to your account settings, you can also set up your unsubscribe settings. And because we cannot edit our unsubscribe form because we're on the free plan, and that's okay, the unsubscribe form just allows you to be able to ask questions if people want to unsubscribe. So you can ask them, maybe what is the reason why you are unsubscribing, like you want to know the reasons. You can add in external reasons apart from the one that has been created by MailerLite. Alright, so we have come to the end of this course. Please do not forget to like this video and also share to everyone you think that is going to need this video. Okay, I know that was a lot, especially if you completed this video up until the end. As you can see, we were able to cover everything that you needed for your business, and I believe now you will be able to set up things like automations, landing pages, email campaigns, and all of those things in MailerLite now. If you need help beyond this course, there are two ways we can be able to come in to help your business. You can book a free discovery call with the link below, and we are going to take a look at your MailerLite account, and we are going to come up with a great system that you can use to set up and to optimize your MailerLite account. Another way we can be able to help you is to help you audit your MailerLite account to see all of the lapses, to see all of the problems that are currently in your account, and how we we can make sure that you are going to use your MailerLite account to the best optimal capacity. So if you feel your MailerLite account is not working as it should, you're not using everything you need to use in your account optimally, then you can book your CRM audit. The link is also in the description below, and when you book this audit, we can take a look at your account. We are going to help you to set up a detailed action plan on how you can be able to move forward with your MailerLite account. So you can find these two options in the description below, and you can pick whichever one works for you. And also, please do not forget to like this video and also share to everyone who you think is going to need this video. And also, I will see you in my next video. Bye.